Gents, thank you very much for tuning in to another episode of the Destroy the Stumps podcast. Well, today it's a bit of a different format. We're going on some weird platform, but anyways, who cares? As long as we're recording, that's all that matters. Going to be talking to my mate Aaron, who I previously talked to as well. He started his amateur boxing career this year. He's changed a few things about himself as well. We'll talk about that as well. But Aaron won his first fight. The venue was in St. Mary's. Now he had his second fight 2 weeks ago at Bonnyrigg. Over there, he versed another amateur boxer, and he won that fight. So 2 fights, 2-0 already. Really good start to his career. He was very impressive once again. And in 3 rounds, he really came out in the third round and did a good job. And the guy was a bit taller than him. He really handled the guy well. Anyways, without further ado, we're just going to get stuck into this and introduce Aaron. Aaron, thanks for coming on, mate.
Well, thanks for having me, mate. Neil, it's been a pleasure. It's been an honor talking to you and having this wonderful chat with you.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it, bro. What do you say? I mean, 2-0. Good start, eh?
Now, before it was proving myself, but now it's now the time is just saying, I guess, to everyone that I'm the real deal. So,
Mate, you're off to a good start, so couldn't
yeah.
ask for more, honestly. And also, Aaron, just with the support, how big with the opposing guy, he had a pretty good support. Um, but your even our guys, we were pretty like the guys from Soulbox were pretty vocal. Still, even though we weren't as big in numbers as compared to the other guys' team. But how vital was that support in a different atmosphere where you kind of felt like you were, I'd say, in the opposing side of things, like if you get what I mean. Like you
Yeah,
felt like you were probably like in the opposition. You were in the lion's den, up against the main guy. Because the support definitely seemed like, especially with the crowd that was there, um, like they weren't abusive or anything, but it's just like they were very vocal in supporting their guy. It felt like they were a majority compared to us. We were vocal as well, but not as vocal as them. It was a bit of a different experience, wasn't it, this time? And how did you overcome that?
yeah, definitely. I definitely felt that. I guess from the beginning, from the walkout, I definitely felt he had more supporters, and you know, like I just told myself that I just had to walk in there, do my job, and shut the whole crowd down, I guess his supporters down, and let my work speak for itself in a way, rather than, just just relying on your supporters to do the work for you. Although I'm not saying that having no supporters help, like supporters always helps me, like in any sort of like if it's a fight or anything, an event, whatever. But yeah, just it's good. It's good to face an opponent like that who has a lot of supporters or following, and just to get to experience it, because it won't. It's the first, but it won't be the last. There'll be many, many more opponents who will have many more supporters than I have. So yeah, it's a very good experience.
Yeah, absolutely. Aaron, also just with regards to the fight as well. Because like in the previous podcast, we mentioned that it was going to be at the end of June, but it got shifted to an earlier date. Also,
Yeah.
you mentioned that you had when I saw you after the fight as well. Me and VJ, we saw you after the fight. You had like taping on your one of your shoulders as well. You're dealing with that as well. Would you be able to explain that a bit more to our guests, and also how do you deal with all that with like the short notice, and also the pain that you might have experienced with that shoulder issue, like with the taping and all that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, it's been a couple months. I've been dealing with some shoulder pain, and only just recently I've gotten to see a physio and had a look at it, and they just worked up what I need to do to strengthen it, and just luckily that same physio was also in my corner, so he was able to tape me up before the fight. So um, yeah, it's just something. It's not like an injury where it's a severe injury. It's more of like a pre like a mild sort of condition. But I just needed to have it taped up a bit before the fight, just in case if things go, flying out of nowhere or it gets a bit wild. Um, I I will be sure that my shoulder will be intact or won't get any more injured than what it already is. So yeah, basically, what was the first question again? The
Also, there was short notice as well. Like,
yeah, the
it's
short notice.
literally the fight you mentioned as well in the previous one. It was supposed to be at the end of June, but it got shifted to an earlier date and happened 2 weeks ago. So that's around like
Yeah,
early June, earliest June. How did you deal with that the short notice?
I was just preparing for a June 30, but by that time, my coach told me, "Oh, we'll move you to June 10." So yeah, he felt I was ready again, so I just had to shift all of my diet on very quick notice and really go into camp straight away. I had less time to prepare this time than my previous fight. My previous fight, I had maybe 4 to 5 weeks. This one, I had like 3 weeks or less, um, which is kind of good. Like I felt the difference between the two.
Mm,
Um, I felt like this camp was less stress than my first camp, and but I felt, a lot more conditioned as well. So yeah,
yeah,
it is quite shocking, but I guess the lesson, my takeaway from that is I'd have to be more prepared
yeah,
for any short notices because it does happen quite commonly in boxing. Sometimes you even get 1 day or 2 days notice. You
yeah.
know, you just have to get your prerequisites, your pre-qualifications done, and that's it.
Mm. Yeah. That's interesting. You're able to deal with. A lot of people aren't able to deal with short notices. They struggle to deal with it, but seemed pretty
Yeah,
easy for you. By the way you explained things. Also, Aaron, just with the opponent as well, did kind of mention briefly, and you also talked about it after the fight as well when we caught up for Samatri, and then after that we had a bit of a discussion and all that. The guy was a bit taller than you by a couple of centimeters. What was your tactics in dealing with the guy, and like, what was your strategy when you saw the guy? Because that was the first time you actually saw the guy face to face, right? And then you had a short period of time to actually come up with some tactics and a strategy to overcome him. How did you do it?
yeah, absolutely. My strategy is, I think it's always been the same. It's just to pressure and fight at my own range. Don't let him get in his range, sort of thing, and keep him on the ropes and just keep flurrying. Punching keep throwing as many punches as I can, and yeah, and that will, sway the judges, sway the fight, and get him tired. He felt, yeah, he was taller, um, but it wasn't anything that I haven't seen before, I
Mm.
guess. He is strong. Like, when we got into a clinch, or we got tied up, he would just push me away, and I'd be like a couple meters off. Um, yeah, he's a very strong dude, but you know, I guess I was the quicker guy, and yeah, I could see his punches coming, and yeah, it's just I feel like I was more skillful.
Yeah. Oh, look, absolutely, definitely were skillful. Also, and interesting the way you went about it, dealing with a taller guy. You mentioned he was strong. You still overcame the odds in that fight and did a really good job winning that fight. Also, Aaron, just with that, the first, just like by round analysis, even you saw some of the footage as well. Even like when you discussed with your coaches as well, you talked to your coach and your team afterwards. They did say the guy did give a good fight. He definitely did give a good fight, especially in that second round. I thought. Then the third. So like round by round analysis. What would you? That this is what personally or what I thought about the round. But
Yeah.
what do you personally feel each round? The first round, second round, third round. How would you summarize your performances in each round specifically?
Um, well, now that I've had a look at the video, my opinion has changed a bit from the last time that we spoke. But back then, before watching the actual video, um, I felt like the fight went on so quick that I could barely remember what happened actually. Um, but yeah, I felt like during the fight, or maybe a couple minutes just after the fight, I felt like I won all three rounds. Um, yeah, I just was just more active. I guess landing more punches. He was landing punches too, but I felt like I had more volume up than him. Um, yeah, he's yeah, I did get marked up as well on my left eye after the fight. So that goes to show you that, he did land.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, after watching the footage, though, yeah, I can see why. Yeah, he like yeah, he was throwing a lot of punches. I felt like, but to me personally, I was blocking them with my gloves, but I can see from the outside, it does look like he's landing those punches, but they're not clean punches. Like if you know what I mean, like
Mm.
if a glove lands on your glove and you look like this. It may look like to the outside that the other guy's landing, but in reality, he's actually not. He's just skidding away or just barely bouncing off the glove.
Ah, right.
Um, yeah, so that's that's what I really felt like. But yeah, I can see why it could. Yeah, it does. That's why in amateurs, it's always better, I guess, to make the other person miss the punches,
Mm.
or if you back away from the punches, because if you can block all the punches all you want, um, but you can block all the punches and not get hurt or not even get a clean shot from your opponent. But to the judge's eye, it looks like the other guy's punching a lot and landing. So yeah, I guess that's my takeaway from that.
Yeah. And also, Aaron, just with that third round, I thought, like personally, me and VJ and Ryan at the back, we were, and even the security guy over there, we were talking. We were saying like the third round, you absolutely dominated it. You didn't give the guy any sort of room or anything at all. But what happened in the third round that just made you go like all out? So what was it that it just was it like just a plan, or did it just automatically all click in the third round?
Yeah, I felt he was tiring out, and I'm normally a third rounder guy. Like I normally get I'm like one of those guys who get better with the rounds. Like I'm not a quick starter, I'm more of a slow starter sort of guy. So
Mm.
first round, second round will be kind of okay, but third round usually my opponents or my sparring partners get tired that round, and that's when I start picking up the pace or yeah, something like that. But yeah, that's always been like my one of my strengths, I'd say. So yeah.
Ah, right. Yeah, true. Absolutely. Aaron, also, just with regards to your diet as well, you did kind of touch briefly on it, and also we did talk about it as well. You did mention that you've kind of cut down on drinking as well, and also you're following a stricter diet now. What does that diet involve, and how much of a difference has that made?
Mm, yeah, definitely, man. It's it's a life-changing experience, you know. Um, yeah, being sober, it really I don't know, like you really become more in tune with yourself. You're a lot more happier, and you you don't feel the need to rely on drinks to get you hyped up or to feel some sort of happiness. Like the happiness just comes out from you from training, and I guess also like not just staying sober, but doing some physical activity will help you reach that.
Mm.
The energies you get from serotonin or dopamine will come out naturally rather than just relying on drinks, which gives you a temporary boost. But then afterwards, you'll feel a big, like a big sort of going down phase after that. So, yeah, but now when you've been sober, you know, like your happiness just comes out naturally and you feel a lot more energized as well. You feel like you have an unlimited um, gas supply of just happiness within you.
Yeah. Oh, look,
So
absolutely, and
yeah,
also just with the diet as well. What foods have you been eating more of in recent times, and
I've
what's that done to you?
it's more, I've been eating more of a balanced diet, so more, you know, rice, meat, and veggies. Um, Definitely a lot of tomatoes. Tomatoes really have that antioxidant um, sort of vitamins to them that really helps you. Um, yeah, a lot of meat definitely helps me as well because it's very satiating and it helps you, you know, feel more full with every meal. So you don't feel the need to eat more than what you need. So yeah,
Yeah, I like what
that's
types of meats. Like, was it like chicken in particular, or like pork or
yeah.
bacon, or
Ch
like?
ch it just anything really, just chicken or beef. I do eat pork sometimes, although pork would be my last resolve because I find that chicken and beef have more nutritional value to them. Um, Pork is just, you know, it's just a staple food for Filipino dishes. So yeah, if it's there, then I'll eat whatever is on the dining table. So yeah.
Okay, yeah, definitely, man. Also, Aaron, also just with the fight as well, just in the weeks leading up to it, as well, you kind of cut off communication with a few people. You rarely talked to anyone. The focus was just basically on the fight as well, especially because it got shifted. So just with the training and the drills and all that, what drills did you focus on in training, and what techniques? Was there anything that you touched up on? Was there anything that you that your coaching staff looked into to improve you for the fight, or just get you ready for the fight?
Yeah, definitely. For my last fight, we focused more on output and gas tank. For this fight, we focused more on just landing better punches, landing
Mm.
cleaner punches, because those do make a big statement. Those are what the judges are looking for, basically, you know, like who's landing the better punches and all that. So yeah, that's the main thing that we've worked on. My gas tank is already there, you know. I'm not gonna tire out. Like my coach tells me all the time, you know, that sh you shouldn't have any doubts with your gas tank. Your gas tank will be there. So from the get-go, from the first round, I want you to go out there and um, like throw as many punches as you can from the very beginning. You should go all out because you'll never tire. Um, so yeah, that was the main game plan to give everything I've got from the very beginning.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Aaron, also just on the fight night as well. How did you recover after that fight? Especially with the shoulder, the tapping, so the strapping, so the A being on that and all that. So you did some archery also. I know because you were there with me. But yeah, then also just recovering after that fight. How easy was recovery after the fight? Was it a little bit difficult this time with the shoulder and all, or still it wasn't that difficult?
Wasn't that difficult. You know, I just took the tapes off straight away, and yeah, I mean, I've been doing a bunch of rehab work anyway, so um, like yeah, I was taking care of it fairly well. Um, yeah, and I was able to do archery with you the very next day, and enjoyed it as well. You know, yeah, I was. It felt like a normal day to me. The very next day, so nothing too crazy. Like didn't feel anything special. It was just a regular old day, and just having fun with my mates. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And also the pain, like, wasn't the muscle pain and all that, wasn't a factor after the fight?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I've had worse spars than that, you know. I've been damaged way more in sparring than this fight. So
It's
yeah, I've just
interesting, man.
like what I mean by that is like you know, I get more pains in sparring than the actual fight. So the actual fight is just, you know, just went by just like that. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And how vital were the Soulbox boys in getting the preparation for this fight?
Definitely you know, all of my sparring partners are high quality sparring partners, and I'm very thankful to have them help me prepare for this fight. You know, very slick, very sharp, and yeah, very deadly sparring partners that I have, and I guess that's one of the main factors why I got to this level.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And also, Aaron, just with that as well, because we'll probably wrap up in a couple minutes as well. But just with regards to your future fights as well, any dates or anything, any ideas when that's going to be, or not yet?
At the moment, yeah, there's nothing yet, but I'm looking sometime maybe August or September. We'll see what happens. If anything comes up. It's a bit tricky at the moment. There's going to be less cards or promotions, I think, in the next couple months. But if not, it will most likely be October. But we'll see what happens. You know, anything can happen in this sport, as they say. So, you know, can get a call like very late notice from a promoter, which in fact I've had a call from a promoter before, which is a 1 week notice, which I declined because I was so unfit. Anyway, it could happen like that, you know, 1 week notice, 5 days notice, 3 day notice. So yeah, but I'll stay ready and I'll keep you guys updated on it. So yeah.
Absolutely, man. Look, Aaron, thank you very much for your time today, man. Really do appreciate it. Ladies and gents, just before we do wrap it up, Aaron and I, we were trying multiple platforms before this to actually conduct the interview. We finally found one. It was an absolute struggle. But yeah, finally actually got the podcast done. Thank Aaron a lot for his patience. Seriously, anybody else probably would have lost their patience, but Aaron was just really patient, and we worked out a way to get this podcast done and this interview done. But yeah, also thank you very much for tuning in, ladies and gents, and thank you, Aaron, once again for coming on the
Oh,
show.
no, thank you, Neil. You've been very appreciative of me, and yeah, want to repay you in kind.
That's all right, man. But yeah, ladies and gents, do check do keep an eye. I'll keep you guys updated when Aaron's fight is. Also, do check out Aaron's fight video, the recent one. It was loaded 2 weeks ago. His second fight as well. You can also look at the first one as well and just see how Aaron's progressing. And yeah, just do give us a do share and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I'll keep you updated on Aaron's fights as well when his next fight is and all that. But yep, and that's a wrap. Thank you. Take care. Wish you all the best, guys, and that's a wrap.
Okay, thank you, guys. See ya.